Hi, it's Christina with the Sisyphean Journal. Today is April 9th. I've already covered our anniversary today, one of the 6 dead patients attributed to Dr. Guy E. Brewer, 1935. And again, we're not supposed to say it was because there were no antibiotics or blood transfusion. We are entirely supposed to blame it on the fact that the legalization fairy had not sprinkled magic safety dust. It was the legal status of abortion and not the lack of antibiotics. You can follow the link to that story below. So I have something new to share today. And defunding Planned Parenthood is in the news. I'm going to look at the story of a Planned Parenthood whistleblower. So Mayra Rodriguez actually won a lawsuit against Planned Parenthood when a jury found she was wrongfully terminated for revealing problems about 3 clinics she oversaw. Now, the sources are a mix of secular and pro-life sources, but she won her lawsuit, and the main differences are how things are worded. So I'm just going to pull a summary from all of the sources. If you follow me on Rumble, you can follow the link below to the companion post with the links. Otherwise, go to realchoice.blogspot.com and look for Mayra's story. So she had decided to work at Planned Parenthood because she believed she would be able to help women, especially other Hispanic women. And during the interview, she was asked about her views on abortion, and she gave what she believed might be appropriate as a personally opposed pro-choice Christian. I wouldn't have one, but if somebody else does, who am I to judge? So she was hired, and she worked for Planned Parenthood for 17 years. At first, she worked at a center that didn't do abortions, but she rose through the ranks and became director of Planned Parenthood facilities in Phoenix and Flagstaff, and still she wasn't involved in abortions. But things changed after she was named Employee of the Year in 2016, and Planned Parenthood made her director of their largest abortion facility in Arizona. Now, she hadn't wanted the position, but she said that she had been told that the North Phoenix Center was being closed and they couldn't promise she wouldn't be let go. So she said everything about the abortion facility was about fast turnaround time and abortion sales. They were to see as many patients as possible, as many as 50, and to get them all processed by 4 p.m. so that their single abortionist wouldn't have to work late. 50 patients, 1 doctor. So she was very dismayed about the rush and the lack of personalized care. And she also became very concerned about malpractice. One example, a doctor identified only as Dr. X left a lot of his patients with complications, and Mayra brought this to the attention of the lead clinician and was assured that the problems would be addressed, but they weren't. After one 19-year-old patient underwent a second trimester D&E abortion at 14 weeks, Dr. X instructed his assistant to be the one to account for all of the baby's parts while he inserted an IUD. The aide told Dr. X that the baby's head was missing from the pile of baby parts that she'd been given to count through. The aide told Mayra, who went to the doctor, and he told her to go find a head in the trash. This shocked and angered her. She stood her ground. The doctor had to remove the IUD and use an ultrasound to find the head and remove it before putting a new IUD in. Mayra also said that she saw doctors falsifying medical records by incorrectly reporting complications or not even reporting them at all. And often the surgical abortion documentation would be completed first thing in the morning, noting no complications, all fetal parts accounted for, and so on, before the patients had even been in the procedure room. And at the end of the day, they just sign off on them. Mayra said she was also questioning the way Planned Parenthood was shifting money around, so that though on paper they weren't directly using tax money to fund abortions, the money was shifted around and the money was subsidizing abortions. Mayra said that as she continued to point out problems, she was treated like a bad employee. She got a memo accusing her of not adhering to Planned Parenthood policies. And she told HR that she thought the memo was intended to silence her. Then she was cited for reportedly having narcotics in her desk, when actually they were non-narcotic clinic medications that were being temporarily stored there until they could be passed on to the right department. And the next day, October 2017, she was fired on the grounds of violating a controlled substance policy. When Mayra sued for wrongful termination, Planned Parenthood used the fact that she had been in the country illegally since the age of 18 and had used falsified documents to get her job. They were hoping this would completely discredit her. However, After a 2-week trial and 3 hours of deliberation, the jury awarded her $3 million in her wrongful termination suit. And she didn't return to Planned Parenthood. She now works with And Then There Were None, which is Abby Johnson's organization, which helps abortion workers find jobs where they won't be involved in this gruesome practice. So I'm glad Mayra's out, and I hope even more workers quit, because it's a yucky place.